Now, there has been something that has come to my attention and that has bugged me for a very long time. And that is white guilt and the race grift. Recently, the co-creator of Friends, Marta Kaufman, regrets her lack of racial diversity in the very famous, an on television all-time classic, TV Hall of Fame worthy, very funny show called Friends. Even if you didn't watch Friends, you knew about Friends, you knew of Friends. Um, so that's that's what that is. The premise of Friends, basically, six white friends in New York City just living their everyday life. It's based on loosely on the co-creators' lives. So that's what it is. What's insulting to me is her apologizing for it. So you were apologizing that you had no black people in your show where, um, if it was based on your life and you didn't have black friends in your personal life, I'm not seeing what forcing black people into this show would have done. I mean, there were things in that show that only pertain to white folks because there were things in it that black folks just wouldn't have been down with or down for. That's just period. Or as we call it in the black community, white folk shit. That's just what it is. That's just what it is. It's a cultural thing. It's not some kind of speaking against you being a racist or you being a bigot or being racially intolerant. There are cultural differences. I'll give you an example of a major cultural difference. As black people, it amazed us to see white parenting because most of the white parenting that we saw in public, we saw y'all kids cussing y'all out, throwing temper tantrums, and y'all having a discussion with a 6-year old. Little Timmy, okay now, look, little Timmy, um, I'm gonna put you in timeout. Let me tell you what the black experience is like. Before we went inside the store, every black person listening knows the speech. And it went something like this. Don't ask for nothing. Don't touch nothing because you ain't getting nothing. We going in here to get our stuff, to get what we gonna get, and we leaving. Don't ask me for a thing. That was the black experience. If we got in that store and threw a fit over something, the black motto is you get laid out where you show out. Period. There was no timeout. Timeouts were replaced by knockouts. I remember personally, I once went into a store with my grandmother and I decided I was going to have a fit over some chiclets. Okay, now pause the game right here, y'all. If y'all don't know what chiclets are, you're too goddamn young to be listening to me. Period. So I had a fit, and chiclets are little pieces of gum, they're mini gums. I wanted some chiclets, and my granny would not get them for me. My granny took a roll of Reynolds wrap aluminum foil and beat my behind in the store. Then she got extra mad because she had to pay for the roll of foil that she ruined as well as a roll that she needed. So I use that as the cultural differences. So when it comes to Friends, it didn't need to be diverse. It didn't. When you look at black shows like Rock, The Cosby Show, Living Single. There wasn't huge diversity there either because it was based on the black culture and black experience. You don't see those people apologizing. I mean, In Living Color had one white guy, Jim Carrey, who, as y'all know how that story ended. Man blew up. But you didn't hear Keenan Ivory Wayans apologizing for not having more diversity. There was nothing to apologize for, but it's now white guilt that is part of that is now part of the race grift. Now the masters of the race grift have become black folks. BLM, whoo! But Miss Marta Kaufman has fallen for it. She's let white guilt give in to the race grift as follows. In an interview, she says, wait. First, let me back up a little bit. Because the whole thing starts off with this statement, which was, this statement is a loaded statement, and I deem it bullshit because I haven't heard any of these quote unquote criticisms that I am about to read to you. On CBR.com, it says, as enduring as Friends has been in all its successes, several aspects of the sitcom continue to be heavily criticized, ranging from its aging sense of humor and its significant lack of diversity. I don't know about the aging humor. I mean, aging humor, the show came out, God knows when, I think early to mid 2000s, and this is 2022. So aging humor, yes. Well, I mean, I don't understand the cultural jokes back then. Mostly wouldn't apply now. So literally everything is aging humor. If you have a reference point, it's funny. If you know where it comes, if you know the source of the comedy it comes from, it's hilarious. But all movies, comedy shows can be considered aging sense of humor. But this is CBR. They're already trash. But now that you got that, here's what she says. Kaufman explained that seeing the criticism was, and I quote, difficult and frustrating. You should have told them all to kiss your ass. It was a runaway smash success. You can tell anybody that criticizes it, scoreboard, because apparently, by the numbers, more people liked it than criticized it. But here is where white guilt and the race grift comes into play. It came to a head in 2020, she stated. It was after what happened to George Floyd that I began to wrestle with my having bought into systemic racism. Again, pause right here. Systemic racism is bullshit. It's overblown, and mostly it's a lie. I'll do another podcast about that, showing that systemic racism ain't what people believe it to be, and is nowhere near as strong as what they claim it to be. I'm not saying that it hasn't existed, but to where people are putting it now, it's not. Resuming our conversation. But yeah, essentially St. Floyd, it was, the Summer of Love 2020. St. Floyd's death set off her white guilt and had her given to the race grift. You want to know what I mean by the race grift? She donated $4 million to create the Marta F. Kaufman 78 professorship in African and African American Studies at Brandeis University. At a primarily Jewish university, at a Jewish founded school, Brandeis, you put a school of African American Studies to try to ease your white guilt. You fell for the grift, baby. You fell for the grift. There was nothing to apologize for. You made something based on you. If I were to make a show based on my life, especially my later teen years into my early adulthood, you wouldn't see white people as a major influence. Though two of my closest friends are white, we've known each other since junior high school, and that's because I went to a school district that was 90 to 95% white. That's what that was. If one of my closest friends on this planet, who I call a big brother, Slick, if Slick were to make a story of his life, he'd have, I think, 2 black people in it, me and somebody else. The rest of his life will be based around his white family and white friends, and when all the people he hung out with at college and who he worked with on the job. So calm down. Just chill out, baby. You have nothing to apologize for. Because you damn sure don't see black folks apologizing. We don't apologize for the Cosby Show. We don't. We don't apologize for living single. We don't apologize for rock. We don't apologize for the game. You don't see us apologizing for girlfriends. You didn't see us apologize for Brandy, the Parkers. You don't. You won't. So don't apologize for making things based on your view, your life. This is what I say to all my white friends, my white brothers and sisters out there. Don't go out your way to try to prove you're non-racist. Don't. Because those who want to believe that you're racist are going to believe it no matter what you do. Just live your best life, be kind. And please, white people, stop giving in to your white guilt and falling for the race grift.
Stop it. Get some help.
That's going to do it for this segment of Free Mind Thinkers. If you like what you heard, don't forget to hit that like button. If you want to hear more of it, go ahead, hit the subscribe while you're at it. And please feel free to comment on anything that you hear. And as we always say here at Free Mind Thinkers, listen less, learn more. Don't forget that you can find us on all your social media platforms. Getter, Gab, Rumble, Odyssey, BitChute. And we are podcasts on several media platforms. Make sure you check out full episodes there in the podcast section or wherever you may get your favorite podcasts. Until the next time, y'all stay up.